Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. In this episode of the Music Den, I'm going to be doing another installment of albums that turned 50 in 2023. I'm going to be trying to do two of these today, but this one I really wanted to do, and I could kick myself for not doing this one earlier on. I actually forgot about it, and I wanted to bring it to your attention because I think it's a fantastic album. This is this band's fifth album, released in March of '73. The band is Led Zeppelin, and the album is Houses of the Holy. As I said, released March 20th, 1973, through Atlantic Records. This would be their last release directly for the Atlantic record label before they started up their own label, Swan Song, and released all albums after this album on their own label. Again, still distributed through Atlantic. This album was produced by Jimmy Page, as he produced all their output, engineered and mixed by Eddie Kramer, who had worked with groups like like Jimi Hendrix, went on to work with Kiss, also worked with Triumph in 1984. This album was recorded at Island and Olympic Studios. Also they used the Rolling Stones mobile at Haley Grange and Stargroves, which was Mick Jagger's home. Haley Grange was a mammoth of a house that basically was used as for recording albums, most notably Led Zeppelin in '72 and Genesis in '74. It is said by both Robert Plant and also, I believe, Steve Hackett said that they do believe that the house was haunted because they could hear noises at night. All Phil Collins could hear at night in that place were the rats. But anyways, won't go there. This album, upon release in '73, got mixed reviews from the critics, but I do believe it was because of the mixture of styles on the album. There was quite a few tracks were recorded for the album. 8 made it to the album. The tracks that did not make it to the album were the title track, The Rover, and Walter's Walk. Walter's Walk would end up on Kodaf in '82, and the title track and The Rover would end up on Physical Graffiti 2 years later. This is a fantastic album, even though in my second album ranking of Led Zeppelin, version 2.0 with Peter Kent, it was number 5 on my list. It is still a fantastic album. The album starts off with The Song Remains the Same. Fantastic fast-paced rocker. Brilliant guitar work from Jimmy Page on this. And first of all, this was supposed to be an instrumental. But then Robert Plant put some lyrics at the break on it. Again, I kind of liken this to being like on a roller coaster. It's like you're going up the roller coaster, right? To the very peak. And the track itself, fantastic guitar work from Jimmy Page. Fast-paced drum rhythm from John Bonham. And I gotta say, on this album, he is bloody heavy on the drums. Really heavy-handed on the snare and going crazy on that bass drum. I swear to God. But it's almost like you're going along on a roller coaster ride. You hit the top, and then you hit the brake on the song. And that's where Robert Plant comes in with lyrics, I had a dream, crazy dream, and then you're going along okay, you're coasting, and then the roller coaster goes down the track and you're off and running again. And it's almost like again, you're going through the motions of the roller coaster, and the track is just going along at a fast pace. Fantastic guitar soloing um, by Page. This track is really guitar heavy. Okay, double tracking guitars, almost like point counterpoint work on the guitars from Page, and then it just comes to a dead stop, and then you hear Plant just do a harmony vocal on the end, right? Just like not a scream, but just like a harmony vocal take. I think he triple tracks himself on that, and then it's a dead stop. Then it goes into the Rain song, and it starts off. There are how can I put this? There are two songs that I would consider to be almost prog like on this album, and this is one of them. The Rain song starts off again, an idea from Page. Starts off with a acoustic and electric guitar intro, very soft, very mellow, very atmospheric. Okay, um, the lyrics from Plant are, "It is the springtime of my loving, the second season I am to know. You are the sunshine in my growing, so little warmth I felt before." Right? It is beautiful. Mellotron galore. Okay, all over the place on this track. Other lyrics are, "I felt the coldness of my winter. I never thought it would go." Like that he would ever feel. It's almost like somebody saying that someone's love and attention made them feel safe and secure. It's a beautiful love song. Okay. That clocks in at around 7 minutes and change. So to me, that is one of the two prog like tracks on this album. Number 3, the first single from the album, "Over the Hills and Far Away." Again, starts off beautiful acoustic guitar intro. And it talks about the life of being a hippie, the lifestyle of being a hippie. And the lyrics that Plant comes up with are, "Hey lady, got the love I need, maybe more than enough. Darling, walk a while with me. You've got so much." Okay. What I like about this track too is it on the end it fades out, and then the guitars come back in and just do a repeat of the melody, and they come in full and rich on the end, and it just fades out. Track 4, "The Crunge." This was started out as a jam from Bonham, and it's kind of like a James Brown pastiche. Okay, but so he basically, wanted to do a funk track, but he kind of did it an offbeat on the drums so that people really couldn't dance to it, right? And Robert Plant comes up with some lyrics to it. It's basically done in fun, basically satire, right? This track was done live, and they would incorporate it into lengthy pieces like "Dazed and Confused," right? When they would do it live. They're not taking themselves seriously on this track or on this album at times, which I like. I like it a lot. I think it's good, right? I mean, this you get to see different sides of this band on this album. Side 2 starts with "Dancing Days," and this was the B-side to the single that's coming up next, the next track, "Door Maker." But "Dancing Days," unforgettable guitar riff that comes in that starts with it, and to me, it's basically an ode to summer. It's like, we've been through the winter. The warm weather's coming. Let's go outside. Let's sit outside and have a good time. Let's enjoy the sun. Okay, this is almost like this is the kind of track where you could play where you're sitting outside on your front porch or veranda or front stoop, and you've got the music coming through the window from your stereo in the living room, which a lot of us used to do as kids. If you've had older sisters like me, this happened all the time. Or if you have, playing in your car on the car radio, you have the radio on in the car and in the driveway, and it's just coming out the windows. It's fantastic. Track 6, or track 2 on the vinyl, side 2, is Maker. DY apostrophe ER. Next word, MA apostrophe KER. If I say this wrong, I'm sorry. I don't really think anyone really knows how to say this track. This is their ode to reggae, a reggae drum beat, drum pattern. Robert Plant, I believe, calls it a reggae doo-wop kind of a track. Very whimsical, nothing serious. John Paul Jones did not like this song, didn't think it was thought out enough in terms of arrangements. Robert Plant wanted it released as a single, that he thought it was that good. He was vetoed by the other three, so that it was not released in the UK as a single, but it was released in the US as a single, and it reached top 20 in the US. It's got to be said too, Zeppelin did not want their singles released from their albums. Very few songs were released as singles. The Immigrant Song was released from Zeppelin 3. I do believe there was an edited version of Whole Lot of Love, was released in 1969, but Peter Grant stopped it right away, and much to the aggravation and frustration of Ahmet Ertegun, because he said, how the hell are we going to promote this album if we don't have singles? But this one was released in the US, reaching top 20. Fantastic track. It's a good track. It's a feel-good track, and just very playful in the studio. Nothing too serious. The next track, No Quarter, is the second one that I call prog-like. Okay, very atmospheric, very heavy, moody, with lyrics like close the door, put out the light, they won't be home tonight. The winds of Thor are blowing cold. They ask no quarter. Very atmospheric, very heavy, very dark, very moody. Again, a lot of mellotron from wall to wall on this track. And it was featured quite prominently on their tours following. I should say, too, a little side note, the music on this album was featured quite heavily or prominently on The Song Remains the Same, the concert film. And for those who are interested, if you want to get a copy of The Song Remains the Same, the soundtrack, get the remastered version. It has the entire show on the 2 discs. Do not get the original, which only has the 9 songs. I don't know why they would just release a soundtrack with only 9 songs on it. It's not the full concert. Get the remastered and reissued version. Fantastic song. It is very prog-like, clocking in it, I believe, just over 8 minutes long. The next song, the final track on the album, The Ocean. To me, funk galore. All right? Heavy-handed on the drums, funk drum track rhythm on this track, heavy guitars, heavy use of cymbal crashes. John Bonham is singing on backup vocals, and again it ends on a comical note, which it goes into like a kind of like a jam on the vamp, and almost like a doo-wop kind of a thing, right? Amazing track. Again, funk like there's no tomorrow. The only way Zeppelin can do it, heavy-handed, and it's just a bloody amazing track. This track was sampled by the Beastie Boys in 1986 on one of their tracks on their first album, License to Ill. Won't even go there. But that's the album, Houses of the Holy. Please, and I should say too, this album has gone on to sell diamond status, 10 million copies plus of this album alone. So it's got to say something for the content of the music and the quality of the music on this album. This album is amazing. Okay. Again, down there, down below, please let me know what you think of this album. Do you like Houses of the Holy? Do you not like it? Do you think that this is where Zeppelin lost the plot or was way off the mark? Or do you think that this is just an example of their brilliance and how they can incorporate different musical styles and make it work? So please let me know what you think. Put your comments again down there, down below. Join me for some shows coming up, please. I've got a show coming up with Ryan Gavalier. We're going to be doing an episode on Frank Zappa, Overnight Sensation, in light of the new box set that's coming out on November 3rd. I'm going to be doing possibly a show with Bill Schuster, tentatively on the 15th, on Joe Jackson Part 3, New Music Discovery. I'm going to be doing a show on my Saturday, his Sunday, Peter Kent from the Lizard King channel. Please check out the Lizard King channel. It has some great content on it. We're going to be doing our top 10 Rolling Stones albums. And last, but by certainly no means least, I'm going to be doing an episode with Grant Arthur on Grant's Rock Warehouse on the Tea Party's fourth release, Triptych from 1999 through EMI Canada. We're going to have a discussion about that album. So please, and also check out Grant Arthur's channel, Grant's Rock Warehouse. He also has some fantastic content. So please, again, hope you're having a good day. Take care of yourselves and one another. And I will see you very soon for another video. Bye for now.